right, good morning or evening or afternoon, whatever it may be, wherever you are watching this. I came out early this morning to share with you some things, and this will be podcast number 3. I'm calling it the vaccine. Okay, notice the quotation marks, because I don't really believe that this is a vaccine that they're giving you. It's unlike anything the world's ever seen. It's untested, and some of the things we're seeing happening from it are just horrible. So I don't want to call it a vaccine. I'll call it what I believe it is: gene therapy. I believe that it does change your DNA, and I'm going to show you that today. I'm going to show you a lot of things as I share with you some things, but let's dive right into the Bible first. And the Bible says this in 2 Timothy chapter 4. I charge thee therefore before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing in his kingdom. Now the quick are the live, and here we are in the land of the living. If you're watching this, you are definitely alive. But we're missing some people. There's some people that are dead. And a lot of people will say, well, there's so many people died from COVID. But what we're seeing, if you look at the numbers, is that it appears that more people are dying from the vaccine. Again, I don't want to use their terminology, the therapy, if you will, than have actually died from COVID. And I'm going to show you in a second the risk that you have of dying from COVID. It says here in verse 2, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season. I was recently prohibited from uploading to YouTube for a whole week, so I didn't get to put my sermon up for the week because YouTube doesn't like talking about this stuff. So I'm going to bring this truth to you any way that I can in the hopes that you can see this. And I want to warn you of what's really happening today. I want you to be able to be informed. Informed consent is important. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and be turned into fables. I hope to God you listen to this today and not be turned away to fables, because there are people out there that are lying to you, and they have an agenda. There is an agenda. It's interesting that this whole COVID thing came out in 2020, right before the Agenda 21 United Nations thing. You need to look at United Nations. You need to look at Agenda 21 and Agenda 30 and their goals. Their goal is literally to take over the world in a one world government and to depopulate the world, depopulate the planet. Now, I've got lots of things to get into, but let's start here right now with this. As of 2/11/2021, I printed up the figures according to the Johns Hopkins place of how many people supposedly, I say supposedly, died of COVID, and how many people were supposedly infected. Now, I say supposedly, why? Well, you remember, they began to do investigations. They began to do audits to see, did these people really die of COVID? And they're finding out that a lot of people that died of COVID didn't really die of COVID. They died of something else, and that the doctors have put it down wrong. So it's not as bad as they're making it out to be. But how bad is it? Is it bad enough to make us want to stand in line for a vaccine? By the way, what is a vaccine? Jonas Salk came out and did the polio vaccine. A vaccine is literally weakening the thing, the disease, and then injecting you with the disease. So if it were a vaccine, then wouldn't it have COVID in it? Why do they have to keep the temperature down below something like -70 degrees? And why would you want to get it? I'm going to show you in just a second that your chance of getting it is next to nothing. So why would you want a vaccine if it was a vaccine? That's how vaccines work. They give you a weakened form of the disease so that your antibodies and your immunity can fight it. Well, that's not what this is. This is not a vaccine, because this is actually making your own body fight against its immune system. But look at this. Johns Hopkins, as of February 11, 2021, said there were this many cases of COVID. That's 107,435,033 cases of COVID in 192 different countries. Well, there's over 8 billion people in the world, okay? So that's not a lot of cases of COVID if you look at it globally. Now, how many deaths? Well, the deaths, it says here, of COVID are 2,357,210, according to them, if you believe their numbers. What was it old Bossy Fossey said? Old Bossy Fossey said 200 million people are going to die in America. Well, not even 3 million died around the whole entire world. So is this thing really as bad as they say? I mean, do we really have to wear a mask? They're going around now saying, a mask, you got to wear a mask. And Fauci at the beginning said, no, masks don't work. Now they're saying, no, you got to wear 2 masks. Now look at this. This is the latest thing. Double mask, triple mask. What is it going to be? 10 masks? Why don't you just put a bag on your head and duct tape and finish yourself off? Because that's what this whole agenda is, and I will prove that today. This is a depopulation agenda, and this is what Agenda 21 and all these other things are for. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what this is. So if these numbers are correct, and that's a big if, we take the total number of those that they say got COVID, which is 107 million. You take 8 billion and you find out that's look at that, 0.01343%. So 0.01343% of people in the entire planet were infected from what they've told us so far. They say, well, they haven't tested everybody. Oh, do you believe the test? Elon Musk took 4 tests. 2 said he was, 2 said he wasn't. No, the tests don't work, folks. These are fake tests. I watched a video just the other day where the man who made the test said, oh, they're notoriously wrong. Now, this is the death rate of COVID so far, all right? Is this the end of the world? Is this worth standing in line for hours to get a vaccine? Is this really worth closing down the planet, locking people in their homes, destroying economies, telling people they can't open their business at full capacity? Is this really worth this? 2,357,210 people supposedly died of COVID. Out of 8 billion, that is 0.03%. You have a 0.03% chance of dying of COVID. Now, do you think that's reason to wear a mask? Do you think that's reason to get a vaccine? Does that seem like a threat to you? It's really no more than the threat of the flu. By the way, what happened to the flu? If you look at Tony Robbins, he came out and did a video and he says, look, same numbers as the flu. The flu went down. All these diseases went down in 2020. Why? Because they reported them as COVID when they weren't. So it's not as bad as we are being led to believe. Someone, through an agenda and propaganda, is lying to you and telling you, oh, it's so bad, you need to do this. And you do what you want, okay? I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. I'm just going to try to show you math. All right, math isn't one of my strong points, but I can get on a computer and I can type in numbers, okay? I can do a calculator. Now, the way the world works is this. The rich people don't like the poor people, and the rich people want to get rid of poor people. It's been like that since the history of the world, all right? People with money have power. People with power get money. And so it's interesting, if not strange, how the rich people in the world always want to talk about how they wished everyone was dead. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever looked at those people that are higher ups, a lot of your Hollywood stars and other people say, oh, the planet is overpopulated, we need to save Mother Earth by getting rid of people. Could this whole COVID thing be part of Agenda 21 and be part of the depopulation that the United Nations wants? Here's a quote by this fella. What did he say? Well, this guy is Jacques Cousteau. He said, in order to stabilize world population, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day. You know, Jacques Cousteau, the guy that, you know, used to go underwater and show you all the pretty things underwater, scuba diving. Well, what a horrible person. He wants 350,000 people dead every day. That's horrible. Here's Prince Philip, rich guy, right? He says, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation. Oh, what a sweet person. Oh, give him a Nobel Prize. What a nice guy. He wishes he could kill a lot of people. What does the Bible say? Thou shalt not kill. What a horrible person. Well, here's the guy, Ted Turner. Don't you know Ted Turner? You know, Jane Fonda was married to him. And at one time, I don't know if they still are. What a nice guy, old Ted Turner, the founder of CNN, right? The total population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. Well, it would just be nice if we could just kill off 95% of the world. Wouldn't that be wonderful? No, Ted Turner, that would be genocide. And that would be horrible. And that's what we're seeing taking place in many different ways, Attenborough, okay? David Attenborough. Look what old David Attenborough says. Instead of controlling the environment for the benefit of the population, perhaps we should control the population to ensure the survival of our environment. Perhaps not, okay? Perhaps genocide is not the answer. Every time genocide has taken place, Rwanda, Germany, and things like that, we've always condemned it. So we should condemn any genocide that we see today, okay? Perhaps not. Perhaps we shouldn't kill off 95% of the population. Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau just gave away the plan. Look at this quote from Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau says this: the United Nations goal is to reduce population selectively by encouraging abortion, forced sterilization, and control of human reproduction, and regards 2/3 of the human population as excess baggage, with 350,000 people to be eliminated per day. Jacques Cousteau said that's what the UN wants. Now you can argue with him or not if you think that's right or not, but I'm just quoting him. I've been to Honduras, I've been to Guatemala, I've been to countries where I've met people who told me that they couldn't have kids. And I said, why? Why are you can't have kids? Well, the United Nations came through and gave us a whole bunch of food, and we think that that food sterilized us. I don't know, but that's an interesting thing. Look into that more. Well, here's Bill Gates, you know, old Billy Bob Gates. Oh, everyone loves old Billy Gates. He's so great. He wants to help us with a vaccine. He cares about us. He wants to make sure that we're safe and that we live long lives because the vaccine always will save us from COVID, right, Billy? Here's what Billy Bob Gates said. Here are his words. The world has, this was a little dated, this was a while back, the world has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Well, we're at 8 now. Now, if we do a really good job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that. Look at his words. We could lower that by perhaps 10 to 15%. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but what does that mean, lower the population? Does that not mean kill off people? Does that not mean genocide? Bill Gates says, let's kill off 10 to 15% of the population. Does that sound like a nice guy to you? A guy that has no degree, he's not a doctor, but yet he's pushing vaccines all over the world. Maybe you know old Bill Gates, maybe you don't, but did you know that his dad worked with Planned Parenthood? Do you know what Planned Parenthood was? Planned Parenthood was started by a racist, Margaret Sanger. And Margaret Sanger said, there's too many black people in the world. I'd like to depopulate the world of black people because there's too many of them. And she said the best thing we can do for our planet and for everything is to get rid of people. And so she started Planned Parenthood. Let me show you a quote from this woman, and you tell me if she's a good, godly Christian lady, or if she too is someone hell-bent on genocide. Here's Margaret Sanger. Here's her own words, okay? Look at them. She says, the most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. Oh, it's so merciful. Oh, no, it's murder. It's immoral. It's evil. It's unethical. It's sin. It's genocide. That's Margaret Sanger. Let me show you this picture of Margaret Sanger. It might shock you. Here's Margaret Sanger. Do you see her? Do you see what's around her? That's called the Ku Klux Klan. Here's Margaret Sanger giving a burning speech at a local KKK Klan and telling people in the KKK her plan to kill off black people. I wonder why they wanted to give this vaccine to black people first. Remember that? So there's Margaret Sanger. How come they're not calling racist? Huh? Why aren't they calling Bill Gates' daddy racist if he worked on Planned Parenthood? Why don't you hear this in the news? You won't. All you hear is this guy says, hey, take the vaccine. Hey, man, it's good for you. Oh, it's going to help you. Oh, take it. Have you ever heard of this, the Georgia Guidestones? Look into the Georgia Guidestones. I went there. I saw it one time. Georgia Guidestones says maintain population under something like 500 million. Why, to do that would be mass genocide. Kill off about 95% of the population. That's the goal. So we look into all this and we start to question some things and we start to say, there's some people in this world that want people dead. Their agenda is the desire to see people die. Some of them want to kill 15, 20%, Bill Gates. Others want to kill 90, 95%. So there is people hell-bent in this world on genocide, killing the population of the world. Could it be, this is my question, and I had a video taken down and a strike on YouTube for doing a live stream entitled, Don't You Want the Vax? Don't you want it? All I did was show people that took it and show the truth about it, what it really is, and then I just ask you, don't you want it? Well, I guess you can't do that nowadays. But every breath that I have, I will tell you the truth, because when you connect the dots, you see what's happening, and what's happening is disgusting. What is the COVID virus? Well, I showed you last week in the podcast before this one, podcast 2, that it's patented with a U.S. patent. Look into that. Look into who patented it, who worked on it. Look into the person that had it and how it got to the Wuhan lab. They're coming out now saying, oh, there's no evidence that it ever came from the Wuhan lab. Yeah, they're covering up their tracks. They are. They're trying to hide from you the truth because they know their genocide agenda will come out, and eventually, it will be shown for what it is. So what is this COVID vaccine, quotation marks? The COVID vaccine, usually a vaccine takes 5 to 7 years to put out. They got this one out very quickly. And it's unlike any vaccine that's ever happened on the market. It is an mRNA vaccine. And you look up RNA, and RNA is active in working on the DNA and bringing in the proteins. It's all proteins. Proteins here, proteins there, proteins everywhere. But this so-called vaccine, and I don't even want to call it a vaccine because it's not. It's gene therapy. It messes with your DNA, okay? I will show you eventually. I might have to edit it in, or I might show you on the phone. I think I have it here on the phone, where Bill Gates is holding half of a double helix, and he's pointing to it, and he's saying the mRNA vaccine, and he's showing how it will change your DNA. Now, let me read you some verses very quickly. 2 Timothy chapter 3. For this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. We are in the last days, folks, and this is what we're seeing. The world is going downhill, going to hell in a handbasket. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. Well, they want to come in and they want to deceive women. Why? The devil deceived the woman first. Today they want to deceive women. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now look down in verse 8. Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Does that not explain these guys over here that want to kill off 95% of the population? Wouldn't you agree with me that that's a reprobate, that that's a devil, that that's someone that has, I don't know, murder in their heart and who is evil, that wants to depopulate the planet in mass genocide? Wouldn't you agree? I think so. Now look at verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So the Bible says that in the last days, and we're in the last days, there will be more evil men coming. And their goal is to deceive you, usually women. They want to deceive the women first. Why? Because the women can have children. So if you have a depopulation agenda, you want to get to the woman first, make her sterile so that you don't get any more children. That's the fastest way to depopulate, through genocide. But it says they are deceiving and being deceived. So there's some people out there today, folks, that want to deceive you. And if you just read, and if you look at their plans and look at their words, you'll see that there is a genocide agenda. Now, could the vaccine be a part of the genocide agenda? Well, let's look at that. Now, one verse I wanted to read, but I don't have time, was Revelation 9:18. Revelation 9:18 talks about in the tribulation period, there'll be a third of the population killed off. Isn't that something? A third of the population. So there will be genocide in the tribulation period. The Bible prophesies it. And I don't like genocide. I don't like what Hitler did, 6 million Jews. I don't like what Stalin did to something like 30 million of his own people. I don't like Phil Pot. I don't like, Rwanda genocide. I don't like murdering people. I think it's evil, and people should be held accountable for their murdering of other people. Now, we're told, get the vaccine, just get it, it's good for you. Why? Take that vaccine. Okay, well, then they say, but one's not enough, you have to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Oh, so you have to, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but who gets paid for these Shut up! You don't need to know who's getting all the money. Okay. Well, what happens if you take the vaccine, which, by the way, changes your DNA? Or let's just say it this way for the facts checkers. It has the possibility of changing your DNA, okay? Here's somebody that took the vaccine, okay? Let me read this to you. Man tests positive for COVID 3 weeks after second vaccine dose. So he got twice. He got jabbed, and he still got the COVID according to the test. So does it even work? That's the question. Remember when Fauci goes, well, it's not that effective, you'll have to have a second one. Just like his saying, well, one mask isn't enough, you need to have 2 or 3. When will it end? It won't end, because the agenda is a genocide agenda, Agenda 21, Agenda 30, it is depopulation. And this is how they're beginning to depopulate you, by you taking this gene therapy. Look at this report. Are you ready for this report? Look at this. Remember, the United Nations agenda is to depopulate the earth and sterilize women. Report. Pregnant doctor suffers miscarriage after receiving COVID-19 vaccine. She had a miscarriage just by getting the vaccine. That's odd. All right, let me go through here and show you some things on my phone, all right? I wanted to do more and edit and everything, but I'm running out of time. I'm having to post a lot more stuff. By the way, I need your help. Go to Brighteon.com and watch my videos on Brighteon.com, please. I'm about 200 people, 200 views away from being able to put more videos up. I can only put up 50. The more views I get, the more videos I can put. Also, go to my website, thecloudchurch.org, please. And on thecloudchurch.org, on my website, if you'll go there, scroll down to where it says my video platform channels or whatever I put on that button. And you'll see that I've branched out. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Vimeo, I'm on BitChute, I'm on Patreon, I'm on Brighteon, and I'm on Rumble. And I want you to be able to find all of my videos on all of those platforms. The more you watch those, the more I can upload. So please look at that. Now, we're going to go through some stuff today, and I want to warn you about what I see, okay? You can do what you want, but I want to warn you. I see, through my little eyes, through reading the Bible, through looking at the United Nations. By the way, the United Nations was started by Alger Hiss, which turned out to be a Soviet spy. But his name was Hiss, H-I-S-S. That sounds like the sound that, well, a snake makes. The devil is that old serpent. Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander. Cobra. Oh yeah, don't the masks look like the mask that Cobra Commander told all the Cobra soldiers to wear? If you watch G.I. Joe. Me and my son, we love to watch G.I. Joe. And he's like, Daddy, Cobra, look, they've got a mask on. Do they have the COVID? Doesn't that look exactly like the mask that all the Cobra soldiers wore? Who's in charge? Cobra? Cobra! Whatever happened to G.I. Joe? All right, so just give you some quick patents, okay? These are different diseases. These diseases have a U.S. patent. Makes you wonder. Were they just natural? Did they just come out of nowhere? Or were they made in a laboratory because they want people to? I don't know. I'm just connecting the dots, okay? Take it or leave it. Good website here. 31 reasons why I will not take the vaccine. The first one is because it's not a vaccine. A vaccine, by definition, provides immunity to a disease. This does not provide immunity to anything, okay? So it is not a vaccine. It does not provide immunity to anything. God gave us an immune system. And if you take a lot of vitamins and minerals and you strengthen your immune system, the stronger the immune system, the better chance you have of living and not dying of COVID. Like it's a high risk. It's 0.03% chance of dying of COVID. So they say zinc, they say other things. Hydrochloroquine, they say, by definition, provides immunity to a disease. This does not provide immunity to anything. In a best case scenario, it merely reduces the chance of getting a severe case of the virus if one catches it. Hence, it is a medical treatment, not a vaccine. I do not want to take a medical treatment for an illness that I do not have. So it's a medical treatment. It is a gene therapy. It's an experiment. It's a great big experiment. Okay? This thing has not been tested. It's not been tested, so they want to test it on you. You're the guinea pig if you take this vaccine, this gene therapy. All right, I've got a lot of videos to show you. Here's one. Let's look at this video. Here's the website for you. Mercola. Seniors dying after COVID vaccine labeled as natural causes. And this is a great article. Several areas have reported deaths and are rapidly increasing after vaccination programs are implanted, including in Gibraltar, which prior to a vaccine had recorded a total of 10 deaths due to COVID. 8 days into the vaccination program, the death toll had risen to 45. Norway has recorded 29 senior citizens' deaths in the wake of its vaccination push. Continues, aside from sudden death, examples of side effects include persistent malaise and extreme exhaustion, severe allergic, including anaphylactic reactions, multisystem inflammatory syndrome. All right, I could go on that one. Begin to study these deaths, if you would, please. Because when you begin to study, you find out there's a lot of people that have died from the vaccine. Why? Here's some people that got sick. Look at what it did to them. Anaphylactic shock. It put them in. These are reactions to the COVID vaccine. Here's one. Buffering. It's buffering. Look, don't you want that to happen to you? That person took the gene therapy. That person got the jab. Look at how. Look at her. She got the COVID vaccine. Now, I don't want to be crude or evil or mean or anything like that, but a lot of the things that are happening to people who get the COVID so-called vaccine, it almost looks like they're manifesting the same things that you see in a demon-possessed person. Is this vaccine allowing demons to get into people? I don't know. Watch this lady. Oh, there's one. She took the quote vaccine.
And I'm very real. And unfortunately, this is also very real. I didn't know what else to do other than to just come on live and show everybody what my body is going through at all wakening hours of my day.
Because she took the vaccine.
I want to thank everybody online and my friends and family that have reached out and prayed, because I think that's the only thing we have going for us, right? I don't know what else to prove that I'm real, and thank you for your prayers, and there's nothing that would convince me that this is not from the Moderna vaccine.
Nothing to convince me that this is not from the vaccine. This is how her life changed because she got the jab. Don't you want that? Don't you? Oh, I can't say that or I'll be taken down. Don't you want the vaccine? I didn't tell you to get it. I'm not telling you not to get it. It's up to you. But I do want you to see what happens to people that have got it. Now, if it was bad enough, and it is, you look at the actual test. The test that they give for this thing, we know some people, when this thing started back last year, their family member went and took the test. Okay? This is how they test for COVID. They take a long swab and they stick it up your nose, about that far, up inside your head. All right, we know a family that they did that and then they swirl it. And they swirled it and it broke the swab off inside. And it broke the barrier between the brain. And the person died within a week from an infection. Not from COVID, not from the vaccine, from the test. From the test. The test killed them. Now, this is disturbing, but I want you to see this. This is the test. You tell me, do you want people sticking something like this up you? It is a painful process, and it is also a pagan ritual. This is not a test because people care about you. It's a 0.03% chance, if even that, of death from getting the virus. you have a way higher chance of dying from the gene therapy jab that they want to give you. But this is the test, all right? I want you to see this for yourself. Ready? You see how deep they put that into her brain? Oh my goodness. It hurts to watch. And so they're not just putting that in there to test. They're giving you something. But look at this. This was torture and punishment for slaves. And they punished them by putting something. Can you see that? That is the Egyptian. Folks, we're getting back into pagan rituals of torture on people. But look what they put into your nose. Now, back in the back here, you could break that barrier. And a person could literally get an infection and die. We have met families of people who said they died from the test. And that's your COVID test. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Don't you want the test? I want you to see this. This woman went and got a COVID test, and she opened it and she compared it to a cotton swab. Now, she shows that in the test, well, there are some sort of nanobites. And that the thing that in it has something to do with Morgellons. Have you ever heard of Morgellons? All right, let me show you this. I want you to see this, folks. This was found on the test. Do you see that? It's called nanodust. And it goes into your body. And it gives you, well, a lot of people today call it Morgellons. They're injecting in you something. I want you to see this woman who went and got a test. And she shows you what the test is. It's a metallic thing. Before I get to the lady showing you, you've got to know about this.
Biosensor and plantable nanochip that appears to be slated for the upcoming COVID vaccines.
So there are nanochips and things like that, and you need to know about all this. I will leave in the comments below some videos for you to go see. There's one video that's on BitChute that some of this I've taken from that when you see that, it will scare you. It will literally scare you. And maybe you need to be scared. Because this is not, oh, we want to help people. If it was, hey, don't wear a mask. You got a 0.03% chance. It's about like the flu. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, okay? That's not what this is. The effects of it is more and more people are dying after the jab than before. Now, this is another example of the test. Look at this. This guy goes after.
How far they stick this swab
Up in this man's nose.
Question: are we being tested or vaccinated and nanochipped without consent?
It looks so
I
painful.
want to show you guys something. I got
Here's a lady.
a couple COVID tests from a friend, and I wanted to break them down and see what was in these COVID tests. What were they really doing in these COVID tests? Do you see the COVID test as tip wrapped with traditional fiber? Well, this fiber that's on here is the same fiber that comes out of my body. These are nanoparticles. I'm going to show you up close. Do you see that silver? That's a silver color. There we go. See how that's silver? There's a regular cotton Q-tip. That one's white. But this swab right here is a legit COVID test. And I broke it down. And these are the same particles that come out of my body. These are nanoparticles. These particles are alive and they move. I just broke it down here. Michael, hold this right here. That's the silver fiber. That's what's the COVID Q-tip. It's shiny, it's silver, and they're alive. You see that, people? Do you see them silver particles? That's all this. That's this. Right here. They don't even want to let go. Pick up gun. That's not cotton. This is cotton. This is the COVID. This is a regular Q-tip. See, the regular Q-tip, it's not shiny at all. It's white. Put it next to that. You see the difference in material? One's shiny, one's cotton. This is cotton.
She shows that the actual thing they use for a test is some sort of nanobot technology, some sort of strong. Now, she goes into this and she shows actually picking up a strand of this, whatever it is, and how it interacts with the other, and how it's alive. Let's look at this.
Because this material, these fibers, these silver fibers right here, these come out of my body. They're called Morgellons.
She has Morgellons disease. What is Morgellons disease? Look into that. It looks like it has something to do with all
Dr. Casey
this.
has taken numerous fiber samples and says they're unlike anything she's ever seen.
They are not textile.
These things get in your
They're
body,
not
and your body tries to excrete
Dr.
them and get them
Casey was
out.
amazed by
What
the
are they?
mysterious
Well,
fiber on Brian's
it sounds a
hand.
lot
He
like
decided to have
in
it
the Bible,
tested. She tugs
where it
on
talks about
fiber holds firm. Finally,
iron
it
mixing with
comes
clay.
loose.
You took the whole plug of
And it sounds like we're getting
Dr.
into some
Casey and her
very
colleague,
weird
Dr. Randy
technology here.
Wymore,
Some very
took the
strange stuff.
samples
I
to
won't
Tulsa's
talk about the
crime lab.
Morgellons, but I want you to see
Morgellons fibers are not
the little
any
fibers here
textile,
moving.
cotton,
Let me take it there.
rayon,
I'm going to
nylon.
fast forward it real quick
Not any of those.
to that.
These are silver fibers. It's not cotton. This is what the COVID Q-tip test is. You see that one down there? Alive? They do their own thing. Look, he's trying to grab it. He's mad. See him? This is what they put in the head. This is their COVID test. They're putting this right in the brain. Close to the brain. He's mad. Look, see him? He's getting mad. So you guys think I'm lying? I'm showing you live. Oh, he got mad. You see him?
Now, you can believe that or not. That's up to you. It doesn't bother me what you believe. I just want to show you. This lady said she went and got a COVID test, and she compared it to a Q-tip. And she said, Q-tip's cotton. She said, this thing is silver, and it's alive. She took the fibers apart, and it's like they're looking at each other, and they're interacting like they're alive. What are they injecting into people? First, with the test, they put it way up in there. There's so many things I could get into, folks. I don't have time to look into all this. I'm asking you, most of the truth now is found on BitChute and Brighteon and Rumble and places like that, because YouTube is censoring people and not allowing people to know what this is. Why do you think that is? Why is the news media and things like that in cahoots trying to push this as the agenda over a 0.3% chance of dying? Why is that? Is this it? Have you ever seen this lady? Let me show you her. A lot of people say, oh, this is so debunked and whatever. This is Tiffany Dover Ponce, or however you say her name. And she fainted after she got the vaccine. So, yeah. Now, what they tried to do was say, well, you see, she, see that? She just took the vaccine and she fainted. So they come out and they say, well, no, see, she has a history of fainting. Who in their right mind would hire a nurse in a hospital that has a history of fainting? Nobody. So we're being lied to daily, folks, and it's sad. It's very sad. Now, this is scary right here. These people scare me.
A few countries,
Listen to these two people.
in fact, the testing could have been ramped up very quickly. And a few countries that have almost avoided the epidemic entirely, like Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia, they took their experience and actually prepared, and so they moved a lot faster. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Bill and Melinda Gates are sitting there talking. We got to test people. We got to give them tests. Why? Why do you want to test people? Is it because you want people to die? Could that be it? Why are you wanting to test so many people? Let's look at you again and your quote. The world has 6.8 billion people. That's headed to about 9 billion. If we do a really good job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 to 15%. Why do they want so much to get people tested? Could it be they know there's some sort of nanobot in the test itself? Why are they pushing the vaccines when we see people who take it and they're hurt? And did you see that? Did you see what you just saw? At the end they go, oh, you thought this was bad, just wait till the next one, and they smile. What do they know that we don't know? What are they planning is the question. You see, this is all a plandemic. It's all put out by people with an agenda. Here's Bill Gates.
One final way that's new and is promising is called the RNA vaccine. With RNA and DNA, instead of putting that shape in, you put instructions in the code to make that shape. You put instructions in the code to make that shape.
Did you see that? That was Bill Gates. Bill Gates said one thing that's new and interesting is the mRNA vaccine. And he's holding half of a DNA helix, and he says that it puts it into the code of what? Of the DNA. So all these fact checkers, no, an mRNA vaccine doesn't change your DNA. This guy's holding half of a DNA and saying, we're trying to put the code into here to change this. Do you believe the news media? I don't. They are fake news. And they're lying, and they're part of the agenda. And it's sad. It's sad to see the agenda. Now, there's lots more that I could show you and that I'd like to. Matter of fact, I probably, at the end of this, will show you a couple things, make this a little longer by just piecing in things. But I don't know about you folks, but it's sad to see what's happening in our world today. I don't see an accidental disease just accidentally coming out into the world. From the very beginning, everything has been a lie. It came from bats, people eating bat soup. We don't believe that. Now they're even saying, no, it didn't even come from Wuhan. Everything is a lie. Masks don't help, don't wear a mask. Now, wear 2 or 3 masks. They're going back and forth, they're lying, because all they want is you to have fear. And the Bible says God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. They want you to be afraid, and they want you to come to them for their therapy, if you will, for their medical procedure, which is first this, that might put nanobots in your head, and second, this, which without a doubt does something to you that can make you end up like this. That's sad. Now, I've talked about it before. The Rockefeller Foundation 2010 report. And I've talked about Operation Lockstep. I printed it up. I want you to see firsthand that everything I'm telling you is not a conspiracy theory. I don't even know if there is such a thing as a conspiracy theory. You know, that term was made up by the CIA as part of a misinformation war against information. But I want you to see firsthand, here it is, look at all the pages of this Operation Lockstep, and I want you to see what it is. Scenarios for the future of technology. Now, this all ties into technology, and part of all this is, and I kind of want to talk about this in a different podcast, but all this ties into wanting to get inside of your body certain nanobots so they can set up a cryptocurrency. Look up this thing called patent 060606, and they want the 5G towers, they want all this, and these videos by mine have been taken down on YouTube where I talk about this. They literally want inside of you nanotechnology in which they can track you, and in which they can set up a cryptocurrency in which you become their slave, their cattle, and you go do work, and then they pay you. And it's used to, we thought it was a microchip, a little RFID chip that was the mark of the beast. Now we're starting to see that the mark of the beast is them injecting you with these nanobite technology, this super extremely small nanobites that get inside of you and do their bidding for them. And you get a digital tattoo on your right hand. It's called the quantum digital tattoo. This is all things that are what their goal is. Now, I just wanted to show you this. So this was a New World Order place, New World Order agenda place. And this is Operation Lockstep, the Rockefeller Foundation. Let's go to Operation Lockstep. And what it is, it's scenarios of what we can do to take over the world and bring in our agenda of what? Taking and making everyone full of nanobots so that they can be tracked and traced at all times. I open this up to page 9, Rockefeller Foundation. You can screenshot that and screenshot that. I'll read it to you. The goal of this project was not to affirm what is already known and knowable about what is happening right now at the intersections of technology and development. Rather, it was to explore the many ways in which technology and development could co-evolve, could both push and inhibit each other in the future, and then to begin to examine what those possible alternative paths may imply for the world's poor and vulnerable population. Oh, the poor and vulnerable. We just want to help them. No, you don't. You want to depopulate them. That's part of the agenda. So Operation Lockstep is an idea in which, hey, here's what we could do to bring about our agenda. What is the agenda? Depopulation. It's also global enslavement taking over. Here's Operation, here's the term, Lockstep, and here's what it says. You ready for this? A world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. You see, this whole thing is on purpose in order for you to get so mad that you push back and you begin to fight against it. When you fight against it, then the people in charge go, well, you're the bad guy because you don't know what's right and what's best for you. So you're the domestic terrorist, you're the bad guy. How dare you fight against us? All we're trying to do is help you. It's all a lie from the beginning. It's all to get you to the point to where you go, I'm not going to take this anymore. 4 masks? Really? No. Pushing something up. Now they want the anal swabs. You see, up your nose isn't enough, where they could break the barrier between your brain and your and you could die from just the test. No, now they want to stick it up your rear end. People are like, I've had enough. Remember that old movie Network? Do you remember that? The old movie Network, about a guy that was a news anchor, and he just got tired of telling lies all the time. And so he just stood up and he said, I'm mad as blank, H-E-L-L. I'm mad as blank and I'm not going to take it anymore. And everybody in the world is like, yeah, we're mad too. We're not going to. That's what they want. They want to push the population into being angry and fight. Well, if your agenda is depopulation, we'll have them fight each other. I mean, take away all the food and then everybody has no food, then they're going to go kill each other. That's what they did in Venezuela. Here we go, Operation Lockstep. Here's some more of it. The scenario narratives. By the way, this is scenarios that they're thinking of doing to take over the world. What was Event 201? Do you remember Event 201 and the TED Talks and all that stuff? It was all about what is happening now. How anyone could say this isn't an agenda just proves their ignorance that they haven't studied. This is a depopulation agenda, and that's what they're doing. So scenario, okay, Operation Lockstep. Just want to close with Operation Lockstep. Lockstep, a world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizens. This is all about their controlling us. Think about that. What is going on in this world? I talk to neighbors, I talk to people all the time, and they're just like, I don't understand what's happening. Nothing makes sense. What is happening in Washington, D.C. right now? President Trump has left, and they're trying to impeach a man that's gone. The Constitution says impeachment is to remove someone from office. How do you remove a man from office who they claim isn't in office anymore? Nothing makes sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because the people in charge don't know what they're doing, okay? But it's all part of the plan. It's to get you to the point to where you're just like, everything's so extremely stupid, I just can't take it. And then you snap. And then that's their excuse for coming in and saying, oh, you're an undesirable, we have to round you up and get rid of you. Let me read this page here. I want you to see this for yourself, okay? This was written in 2010 as a scenario for them of their agenda, how to bring in their agenda. Bring in a pandemic. Oh, well, that's what they're calling COVID. But is it a pandemic? You have a 0.03% chance of dying from this, if the numbers are even right, and many times they're not. During the pandemic, national leaders around the world flexed their authority and imposed airtight rules and restrictions. Ooh, gotta wear a mask, mandate. From the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temperature checks at the entries to communal spaces like trains, stations, and supermarkets. Even after the pandemic faded, this is more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck and even intensified. It's all right there, what we're seeing. No, everyone says it doesn't make sense what's happening with COVID. You know why? It's all staged. It's all planned. It's all from this plan. At first, the notion of a more controlled world gained wide acceptance and approval. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, we're going to die. Yes, yes, please, make us wear masks, make us do this. Citizens willingly gave up some of their sovereignty and their privacy. Citizens were more tolerant and even eager for top-down direction and oversight, and national leaders had more latitude to impose order in the way they saw fit. In developed countries, this heightened oversight took many forms. Biometric IDs for all citizens, for example, and tighter regulation of key industries whose stability was deemed vital to national interest. Oh, remember that? You know, I'm vital, so I can go out during a lockdown, but you're not. How do they say that? I'm essential. Okay. So all this was a plan in 2010 of forcing people to wear a face mask. It says it right there. Do you not see this? COVID-19 was a plan, folks. This is the next page. And look what it says on the very next page. It is possible to discipline and control some societies for some time, but not the whole world all the time. So this whole thing is all about bringing in civil unrest because they've overstepped their boundaries and become so authoritarian that the people look at it and go, no, 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 you're done. You're not going to force us. You're not going to do this. We can't take it. We're looking at what this so-called vaccine is doing to people. And I know people that had the vaccine and they died. I know people that have suffered from it and they call it a vaccine, and it's not. It's gene therapy. And more people are waking up and saying, this is an agenda against us. Well, that's their plan too. They want us to fight them. And then they can say, oh, you're all terrorists. We need to get rid of you. I'm not here to fight physically. I'm here to fight with the truth, by telling the truth. The truth is, masks don't work. Oh, how dare you say that? I'm just quoting Fauci. Old Bossy Fauci said that at the beginning, and he knows that. Now they're telling you to wear 3 or 4 or 5. Why would they tell you that unless they know that's going to make you mad? That's what they want. They want to push you to get angry and lash out at them so they can use that as more of an excuse to put you in a concentration camp and say you're a domestic terrorist, you're evil, you're wicked, you're all this. But I clearly see an agenda, a let's murder everyone agenda, and it's planned. Operation Lockstep 2010. I had somewhere in here a quote, I guess I didn't bring it, by the man who started it, the Rockefeller Foundation. And here it is. The Rockefeller Foundation was started by David Rockefeller. Here's a quote of his. We are on the verge of a global transformation. Oh, you mean like the global reset? That's what we're hearing spoken about. Where does that come from? United Nations. Build back better. Where does that come from? United Nations. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the New World Order. So if there is no crisis, why, hey, let's just invent one. That's what the Event 201 was about. And Event 201 was what, a year or so before the whole COVID thing? So they came out and said, oh, COVID, we're all gonna die. Oh! Numbers never lie. You have a 0.03% chance of being just fine, and a 0.01343% chance of even getting sick from this COVID. You say, oh, well, everything's fine, then forget it. No, I showed you Bill Gates, where he said, oh, you thought this was bad, just wait till the next one. He's smiling from ear to ear. What does he know? I know one thing, I know the Bible, and the Bible talks about in the tribulation period, which I don't believe we're there yet. I believe it's right after the rapture, but it says there's 7 plagues during the time of the tribulation. So if you think COVID is bad, and it shut down the whole world, which was their plan. Some people in America know the plan as Cloward and Piven. And the way that you take over a country is you destroy their economy, make the people poor. And who got rich by all this? The big companies. Isn't that fascism, when companies rule? And that's what's happening now. We're seeing companies make mandates and saying you can't do this, you can't do that. And they're taking over control. And this whole thing is about the UN agenda and control. And it's about depopulation. So I want to end this with some videos of people who have taken the so-called vaccine. Again, I don't even want to call it a vaccine. I'm going to call it what it is, the gene therapy, the changing of your DNA therapy, and how it affected them, and how it literally took away their immune system. Instead of strengthening their immune system, it weakens their immune system. And I personally think what it does is it weakens it so that when the next one comes that they're going to put out, that targets you to die faster. And guess how that would work? Just think about it for a second. All the people that got the vaccine come out, oh, we're fine. Then the next thing comes out, and they put it out. And those that have the vaccine, it's to affect them. And then they die in droves. And then it's Oh, we got to take away your rights. Oh, you got to put on 12 masks. Oh, you got to lock down for a year. Oh, do you see how this whole plan is in favor of them and not in favor of you? You don't have any freedom. It's all about authoritarian control. That's what Lockstep said. So I'm not a conspiracy nut. I'm not somebody who's out here speaking lies. I've gone out of my way to print up as much information as I could to show you. Rich people want poor people dead. Many of them belong to Planned Parenthood, which was a racist organization that wants to kill people. The plan of the United Nations is to kill people. They want 90 to 95% of the people in the world dead. See the Georgia Guidestones. The only question is, will you go along with it? Are you saved? They might take your life in this world. Well, the afterlife is the one that's more important. Where will you spend eternity, heaven or the other place? Smoking down there or non-smoking up there? Jesus saves, and you can come to Jesus, and then no matter what they do, people say, well, what if they force give you the vaccine? Well, they'll have to find you first. That's all I'm saying, okay? There's a lot of woods where we live, and I would rather die starving in the woods than die like this, because they injected me with some sort of evil thing that I don't even know what's in it, okay? So, but that's not important to me. The most important thing is, are you saved? Because if you're saved, you go to heaven, no matter what they do to you. All right, I got a place in heaven, and that's all that matters. But can you imagine them doing that to you, and then you die and suffer for all eternity? Suffer here and suffer there. So as a minister of the gospel, I come to you to tell the gospel. The gospel is how that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures, 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, and that he was buried and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures. And if you come to Jesus Christ, if you trust the blood atonement of Christ and trust Jesus as your Savior, then you can go to heaven when you die. And then it doesn't matter whatever happened here on earth. The only thing that matters is being with Jesus. Somebody said it like this, and I thought it was good. He said, in this world in which we live now, our minds don't comprehend eternity. We can't figure out all eternity. That's something because we're finite. We don't understand it. So right now, the afterlife just feels like a fantasy almost. It almost feels like, oh, I don't know what's in it, and I can't think about it. It's just, oh, I don't know. But as soon as you die and you're on the other side, you'll be on the other side in the afterlife for all eternity. And you'll look back on this life, and you'll probably won't even remember most of the things that happened. And it'll seem like a fantasy, because that is reality. You see, for a lot of us, reality is now. And it's not a fun reality. We're seeing an agenda to depopulate the world and kill people under the guise of a vaccine. And it's not even a vaccine. It's a gene therapy. And it's sad. But you don't have to let them kill you. Okay? It's a voluntary thing. You can choose for yourself. But the most important choice of your life is, do you choose Jesus Christ? Because I don't want to see you suffer in this life, and I don't want to see you suffer in the afterlife. And all suffering is gone if you have Christ as your Savior, and when you die, you're in heaven with Him. So I appreciate you watching this. I'm not here to give you false information. My desire here is not to deceive you. It's to try to undeceive you. I'm not dispensing any medical advice of any sort. This is not, as YouTube and others try to say, medical misinformation. This is fact based upon their own writings, what they say, and then I've showed you video of people that have taken what they call vaccine. The fact that it's not a vaccine shows the side effects that it was given. It messed with their genes, it messed with their DNA, and it made them end up in a poor state. Now you have a right to choose for yourself what you're going to do. Okay? Choose based upon the facts. I hope this video stays up. I hope more people see this agenda, because this is the Antichrist agenda. I just recently posted that video, the Antichrist agenda, on Rumble. If you get a chance, look that up. I hope this helps you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they are trying to kill us. The Bible even says in the tribulation, they will kill 1/3 of the population. Sadly, that's not enough. Remember, one of the quotes of the guy said, we want 2/3 gone. These are wicked, satanic, vile scum. And they don't care about you. They want you dead. They are transhumanists. They think that they can live forever. And so what they want to do is they want to upload their minds to computers and live for all eternity. They don't believe in God or the Bible or heaven or hell or anything like that. They are degenerate. They are reprobate. You need to make sure you inform yourself. There's an old book, and I meant to bring it out, but I forgot, called The Poisoned Needle. And it's all about vaccines and how even in the 70s and 80s, people saw that many of the things that they are calling vaccines contained in them other things that were harmful to you, like heavy metals, like mercury, like other things. So if there was such a thing as a good vaccine, well, that'd be great. But a lot of times the laboratories don't do a good job making vaccines, and they allow other things to get into it, and it can be harmful. There have been many cases of people that were harmed by vaccines. So I strongly encourage you to find that book, The Poisoned Needle, and read it. People say, are you an anti-vaxxer? They're like, oh, you're one of those conspiracy anti-vaxxers. No. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy realist, and I look at the facts. And that book gives you the facts that vaccines can harm people, and they have. So I don't think it's wrong to warn people. It's their body, their choice, right? Right? My body, my choice. Isn't that the mantra before COVID came along? How come now they're saying, not your body, not your choice? What changed? Somebody's paying people to follow a new UN agenda, rather than to actually care about people and their choice. So I am pro-choice 100% when it comes to vaccine. And I choose no. I know your agenda. I know the people behind this. Many of them aren't even doctors. Bill Gates isn't a doctor. Do you know he was kicked out of many countries because many of the vaccines that he gave in those countries did harmful side effects? Look into that. Study that for yourself. All right, I've got 11% left, so I better close. I wanted this to go well. I hope it did. I wanted to give you as much information as I could. There's a lot more, but I only gave you a little bit. Hopefully to wet your whistle and to get you to study more for yourself, all right? This information is going to be censored even more. It has been, and it will be, because those behind the agenda want you to be ignorant, want you to be weak, and ultimately want you dead. So you owe it to yourself and others to inform yourself and look into this to see what I told you, okay? I have the freedom of speech in the United States of America. So I use that freedom of speech to tell you what I think about it. Now I want to know what you think about it. Will you study it out for yourself? Feel free to leave links and other things down below in the comments, and let's share this information and let's get out the truth about this evil agenda. And let's make sure that eternal life is the goal. See, they have their goal, death. That's what they want. They want everyone dead and burning in hell. God's goal is everyone saved and in heaven with him. So that's my goal, and I hope that's your goal too. And I ask you to come to Jesus Christ for salvation. Jesus saves. Bill Gates enslaves. Fauci takes away your right to breathe. Bossy Fauci and Billy Gates are not the head of me, and I saw these guys coming. I'll say it this way, I'd walk right past them looking for a man, okay? All right, I'll leave you with that and close this with a couple more things on the end. God bless. See you next time. Bye-bye.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Let me tell you, they've already started the vaccinations. They've already started them. They started them a long time ago because the test vaccinates you. I have the article right here in front of me, and here's what it says. Yes, they can vaccinate us through the nasal test swabs and target the brain. Now, here's the thing. As a doctor, I said, this is crazy, because you see, you're wearing a mask to cover your, now they would hate it. They would not allow you into a store if you just wear a mask over your nose. You got to wear it over your mouth, because supposedly the COVID-19 is in your saliva. Well, if it's in your saliva, then all they have to do is swab the inside of your mouth like they do for a DNA test.
Here's some more reactions to the COVID vaccine.
Hey everybody. First I want to introduce myself, and my name is Sean Skelton, and I'm very real, and unfortunately this is also very real. I didn't know what else to do other than to just come on live and show everybody what my body is going through at all wakening hours of my day. But I just appreciate everybody's prayers. Do you want to help me get up and walk? I'm just exhausted. It's exhausting for your body to constantly go like this. But it is what it is, and I don't know how else to prove that I'm real. And thank you for your prayers, and there's nothing that would convince me that this is not from the Moderna vaccine.
I recently took the COVID-19 vaccination. After the shot, I felt fine, but within 3 days, I went to the doctor because I had problems with my face. The whole left side of my face, actually. I have Bell palsy now. And as you can see, I can't smile. I'm trying to smile. I'm just getting embarrassed for it. But I just want everyone to know that I think this vaccination is the worst thing ever. And I would not give this to anybody, even my worst enemy. Please, America, they do not care about us. Do not take this vaccination.
Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.